Running backs, Curtis Dickey of Texas A&M, over 1,100 yards rushing. Dexter Green of Iowa State, second only to Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims in rushing in the Big 8. But yet, Lindsey Nelson, the kicking game might be the story of tonight's game, as Tony Franklin of Texas A&M has set 18 NCAA records along the way.
You're right, Howard. Tony Franklin is one of the most spectacular players in college football. As a freshman, he had a field goal of 59 yards. Against Baylor in one game, he kicked field goals of 65 and 64 yards. This year, his longest is 52, but he does it all barefooted, Don Perkins.
He certainly does, and I'm looking forward to watching him. Iowa State's a big, strong ball club. 8-3 for the past 3 years under Coach Earl Bruce. Last year, they played in the Peach Bowl. They played North Carolina State, coming out on the short end of a 24-14 score. I'm sure the Cyclones are still smarting over that. Texas A&M's a fastball club. Coach Tom Wilson took over a team that was 4-2. They finished 7-4 for the year. They look like they have the potential to be much better, Lindsey, and it's going to be an early Christmas present for whoever wins this ball game.
All right, we'll be back with a matchup look at tonight's team after this timeout.
Now, time for the Fame Bowl pregame matchup, brought to you by Grecian Formula 16. Grecian Formula 16 lets you control how much gray hair you slowly get rid of. Some of it, most of it, or all of it. I'm Don Tollefson back in Mizzlou Network Control, and right now we're going to look at the Aggies of Texas A&M and the Cyclones of Iowa State. This year, the Aggies' explosive offense is led by quarterback Mike Mosley, a swift, scrambling option quarterback who's the most accurate passer in the school's history. The top running threat, junior tailback Curtis Dickey, a world-class sprinter who ran for 1,146 yards this season. The top receiver, senior tight end Russell Mukiska, who caught 29 passes for 429 yards. A&M's aggressive defense is led by junior end Jacob Green, who had 25 tackles that resulted in 160 yards in losses. But freshman linebacker Doug Carr led the squad in total tackles with 157. Barefoot kicker Tony Franklin is back for one final bowl appearance after kicking 19 field goals in 1978. Well, usually when you think of the Big 8, you think of Nebraska or Oklahoma. But right now it's time to give some credit to the Cyclones of Iowa State. This year, they're led by two-time All-American Dexter Green. And this year, they cruised to their third consecutive 8-3 season, thanks to Mr. Green and many others. While Green was the key element of the Cyclone offense, big defensive tackle Mike Stinsrud was the rugged leader of the highly regarded Iowa State D. Stinsrud was named to several All-American teams for his efforts. For the third straight year, overall balance on offense and tough defense has propelled the Cardinal and Gold into the nation's top 20. So tonight in Birmingham, you have two teams that want to win it for individual glory and also for their conference. Iowa State wants to win it for the Big 8, and of course Texas A&M wants to win it for the SWC. Right now, let's head down to Birmingham, Alabama, and join Lindsey Nelson.
The kickoff after these words from your local station. And now we have the kickoff as the ball is being teed up on the 40-yard line, and it will be Iowa State kicking off. And teeing the ball up is Steve Johnson. Deep to receive it, Tepalade and Leandro Bacon for the Texas Aggies. Texas A&M with a record of 7 wins and 4 losses. The Iowa Staters have won 8 and they have lost 3. The second annual Hall of Fame Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama, Legion Field. Ball is in the air. It is taken at the 5-yard line and returned to the 10 to the 15, to the 20 to the 25, and up across the 30-yard line, Leandro Bacon on the kickoff return, and so it'll be first down and 10 yards to go at the 33-yard line.
Good field position there, Lindsey. It was a high kick, floated down. They had a little wind for Iowa State's back. I was surprised it did not go deeper, but Leandro Brown got the Aggies in good shape.
Mike Mosley is the quarterback. He has completed 80 passes, 139 thrown, 57.6%. 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Curtis Dickey is the tailback, number 22. Dickey to the left side, out to the 40. Curtis Dickey out to the 45-yard line and just across to the 46. Brought down by Mike Clemens on the corner. Well, he's got a lot of speed, Don.
He certainly has. You know, he's gained 1,100 yards this year, but I think even more important than that is his average yard per carry. He's averaging better than 5.5 yards every time he carries the ball.
Ball is spotted short of the 46-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. They've got Gerald Carter wide to the right side. Like that Whitwell now, and here again. It is the tailback Curtis Dickey, and he goes out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Picked up 5. It'll be second down and 5 yards to go. Rick White ran him out of bounds, a fine defensive end. So the Texas Aggies have moved the ball quickly to midfield here early in this ball game. Representatives of the Southwest Conference. They send Doug Teague far to the right side. David Brothers is the fullback, number 32. And again, they send it to the left side, and Curtis Dickey carries. And he goes to the 45-yard line before Mike Clemens bounces him out, and a gain of another 5 yards.
Looks like they found a home over on that left side of the line. They're going that way on all 3 running downs so far. Iowa State's got a big defensive ball club. In the middle, they play a 5-man line, but they're averaging 230 yards per man in the interior of that line. And because of this, Coach Tom Wilson has made some adjustments for Texas A&M.
Third down and about a yard to go. Chuck Carr's in there tight end now. Instead to Brothers, spins, but he is thrown for a loss for the Iowa State defense. John Less, the sophomore linebacker from Van Horn, Iowa, in to make the stop. That'll bring up fourth down. And it brings on the punting unit, led out there by David Appleby, who has averaged 38.2. He's a junior from Dallas, Texas. Mike Schwartz has dropped back deep to receive it. Schwartz calls for a fair catch, lets it go, hits on the 3 and bounces back upfield. It's down on the 2-yard line. A fortunate bounce of the punt. And so it'll be first and 10 at the 2-yard line. It was Don Wright downfield to down the ball. A 45-yard punt. And so now the Cyclones get it, but they get it deep in their own territory. They send Walter Grant out to run the attack. 57 for 125, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's carried the ball 105 times for 237 yards. Tom Roach is the fullback, and Dexter Green is the tailback in the eye. Motion across. From the end zone, Grant pumps and runs. Keeps it out to the 5, to the 10. And he is down at the 14-yard line for a first and 10. Gene Sanders brought him down. He is a senior tackle from New Orleans. Jack Seabrook is coming in now. Seabrook is in at fullback. He'll be alternating in with Tom Roach, the freshman who started. Slide back across. And again, sets, throws this one, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Guy Preston crossing. He's caught 23 this year. It'll be second and 10 at the 14-yard line. Earl Bruce is the coach of Iowa State.
Good look at Guy Preston right there coming back into the huddle. He's quite a target there for Walter Grant. He goes 6'7", 220-pound senior from Ferguson, Missouri.
Second down play coming now for Iowa State. And now the defense is being deployed by Texas A&M. It's Green, Sanders, Milligan, and Zachary across. Little Carr and Randall linebackers. Taylor and Grulich are deep. Grant sets up and goes long, and it is incomplete. And it's Ray Hardy who was held up, and the flag has been thrown. Ray Hardy, the intended receiver, and Elroy Steen was the defender there, and the flag is thrown.
And I think it was very obvious that time. Ray Hardy was hindered downfield. The ball was in the air. Elroy Steen interfered with him. Once the ball's in the air, you cannot hit that offensive receiver.
So it's an interference call. And a first and 10 for Iowa State. Ray Hardy wasted no time. He didn't see the flag immediately, and he took his case to the courts immediately. He pled his case to the official, and he was right. By the draw this time, giving it off to Dexter Green. He has rushed for 991 yards and averaged 4.3. Jacob Green, the fine defensive end, junior from Houston, made the tackle. He's 6'2", and a 242-pounder.
Lindsay, they say he's going to be an excellent candidate next year for the Outland or the Lombardi Trophy. He's just having a fantastic year for the Aggies.
Second down and 12 yards to go after a loss of 2 on the draw play. Green and Roach are in the I formation. Motion across by Hardy. Grant sets up. Pumps it back, and it is complete. A diving catch made by Stan Hickson. And it'll be spotted at the 47-yard line. Another first down, and this time in Aggie territory.
Really good coverage that time, too, on Stan Hickson. He was well covered by number 23, Elroy Steen. Let's take a look at it again. Grant dropping back, straight drop back, quick release. You're going to see Stan Hickson right there. And a man on him, that is Steen, number 23, right on him. But Hickson, with great concentration, made the catch.
Picked up 15 yards on the play. First and 10 at the 47. Greg Mextrot's in there now. At a receiver spot for Iowa State. The option play, and Grant keeps. He likes to do that, and he moved it to the 41-yard line. Again, 6 on the play. It'll be second down and 4 yards to go. Carl Gruley from Richardson, Texas, was in to make the tackle. Here comes Guy Preston back onto the field, and Mextrot is coming out. Iowa State lost 3 games this year. They lost to Oklahoma. They lost to Nebraska. They lost to Missouri. 8-3 in the Big 8 Conference. Hardy goes to set wide now. He has 13 receptions during the season. He's from Mulberry, Florida. Grant puts it up. The long bomb, and it's incomplete. He just put it up there and was hopeful that he could hang up there long enough for his receiver to run in underneath Guy Preston, the intended receiver.
Tell you what, that's pretty good speed, pretty good range for a wide receiver that time. He was deep. He had the man beat. The pass was a little bit long for both of them, but your tight ends usually are not your deep threat.
Jack Seabrook comes into that huddle now. It is third down and 4 yards to go. Ball is on the 41-yard line. Mike Gannon, the offensive lineman, and here's the option play. Grant that time tripped up just as he got to the 40-yard line, so he gained about a yard on the play, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 3. Little in now on the last tackle. He is a freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada. Here comes the punting unit now, led out by Rich Miller. He is a freshman from Urbandale, Iowa. He has averaged 39.5 on his punts this year. And Darrell Smith has dropped back. He's standing on his own 10-yard line to receive the punt for the Texas Aggies. There is no score. We're in the first quarter. 10 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this period. Rich Miller waiting for the snap. Gets it, drops the ball, picks it up. Fair catch signal is going up, and he lets it go. And the ball is down at the 15-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 for the Aggies. They'll take the ball at the 15. We'll return with more action after this timeout.
Time of the blue-gray game, we'll bring you the Carnation Instant Breakfast High School All-America football team preview, and then halftime of the Blue Bonnet, the McDonald's team, the actual team as it's picked by the National High School Athletic Coaches Association.
First down and 10 yards to go at the 17-yard line. Dickey gets the ball, goes to the left side, Thompson opening up to the 30, 35. He can run. Curtis Dickey's at the 50. He turns the corner. Now he turns it on. It's finally bounced out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Mike Schwartz made the saving tackle. A 52-yard run by Curtis Dickey, who is the NCAA's indoor 60-yard dash champion. He was second in the outdoor 100 meters, a world-class sprinter, and he turned it on.
Well, Lindsay, he runs somewhere between a 9.2 and a 9.1 for the 100, and he really showed something on that one, showing good broken field running, too, as he reversed his field to come back to his right.
First down and 10 yards to go now for the Texas Aggies. They send Mike Whitwell to a wide left. Curtis Dickey. And Brother Dickey is being rested at the moment. And it's going to Armstrong. Badger Armstrong, the tailback. And he moved to the 26-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play, so it'll be second down and 7 yards to go. John Meese was in to make the tackle. Meese went out in the Missouri game with a busted elbow, but came back in starting at the nose guard tonight with Kenny Neal moving over to a defensive tackle position. John Meese, a sophomore. Second down, 7 yards to go. Brothers and Armstrong are in that backfield just now. in the I formation. Here's Armstrong with the pitch. Finally stretched his body out across the 25-yard line. Mike Stendrew, the All-American tackle, is in there to make the stop. He is from Lake Mills, Iowa, 6'5", 270-pounder.
Armstrong's not a bad running back. He doesn't get a chance to play much because Curtis Dickey's in the lineup, but Armstrong, when he's in there, averages about 5 yards a carry.
Paul Haggerty started at an offensive guard here tonight instead of tackle, as some switches were made by Texas A&M, number 78. A keeper on the play by Mike Mosley, and Mosley is out of bounds as he went out at the 20-yard line. It's going to be about a yard short of the sticks, I think.
He's a runner also, 9.4 speed. Texas A&M won the Southwest Conference 400-meter relay this year, and Mosley was the leadoff man, and Curtis Dickey was the anchor man on that.
2 of the 4, and we're getting an Aggie timeout now. Texas Aggies are taking a timeout. So there is no score. We'll be back with more action after this timeout. Tom Wilson is the head coach. He took over at midseason when Emory Ballard resigned, and immediately he jumped the wishbone system of Ballard. He had originated it, actually, while at the University of Texas. And he put in his I formation, which he has continued to work on. 4th down and a yard to go, and they're going for it. Now they've got Brothers and Dickey in that I formation. Aggies going to try to pick up the first down, and it's Brothers for 1st and 10. He moved it to the 18-yard line, and it's a first down. They'll get him unstacked and take the look. But Brothers got their 1st and 10. Dickey, by the way, has carried 4 times tonight for 75 yards so far.
Didn't take him too long, Lindsey, to tie the record in the 2nd year of the Hall of Fame Bowl for most yards rushing in a game.
Very early. Mosley brings them up. And the pitch to Dickey. At this time, he is brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Randy Cook and Rick White in to make the tackle there. Texas A&M switched its offensive line assignments just this week as they moved their center, Pajowski, over to left guard in place of Golson. Golson's had a bum hand, and they move Preston Dickey up to center, and they move Haggerty from tackle over to guard in place of Doug Holmes. Schwartz there now.
All Big 8 safety. He's a good one. Get on that last tackle.
Mosley, well, he's way back there at the 35. And it's incomplete as he threw a short hop. I know a whole flock of coaches that really, at that time, would have gulped and guffed to see a man take that deep a drop.
Oh, my goodness. I think he actually threw it away. Mike Whitwell was the intended receiver on that one, but it looked like quarterback Mosley knew it had a possibility of getting intercepted, and he ran no risk of it. There's Whitwell going back. Good look at Mike Mosley, 9.4 sprinter.
So it is 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Aggies are at the Iowa State 18-yard line. There is no score. Edger Armstrong is in there at the tailback. Brothers is the fullback. Mosley pumps it, and it is incomplete. Doug Teague is the man for whom it is intended down there at the 9-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th and 10 at the 18-yard line. And here comes Tony Franklin out onto the field. Well, for Tony Franklin, a man who has kicked one from 65 yards out in his career and 52 yards this year, and has made 40% of his kicks of over 50 yards, this is a chip shot.
Short wedge.
Absolutely. It's going to be a 35-yarder. David Beal is holding for him. And Franklin puts it way up, and it's no good. It is no good. High enough and long enough, but wide. So it goes over at the 20-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20. But there is a penalty marker on the play, so we have to check this one out. And there's a little confusion on the field at the moment with platoons coming and going.
Well, the penalty was against Texas A&M on that one. It looked like the official was ruling that someone was illegally in procedure. I don't know, maybe I'm being presumptuous up here in my guess, so let's let the officials tell us what it is.
You're allowed to guess. It's perfectly all right.
All right.
Comes with the job.
All right.
Illegal procedure. against the Aggies. You're exactly right.
Whatever it is, don't take the penalty and give Franklin a chance to kick it again.
That's right. It's declined, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 7 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and there is no score. Iowa State nothing, Texas A&M nothing. Tom Roach and Dexter Green in the I formation. Walter Grant, the quarterback. They get him a line, and the ball is marked ready for play by Don Dwyer, who's the referee. Give it to his fullback this time, and Tom Roach, the freshman. Moved it forward, got up there to about the 23-yard line. Roach gained only 158 yards during the season, but he averaged 5.6. Picked up 5 there. I beg your pardon, picked up 3 there. 2nd down and 7 at the 23.
Jack Seabrook just came into the lineup. You see number 27, Tom Roach, there coming out of the lineup. So they're shuttling fullbacks in and out. Iowa State is.
They send Stan Hickson far to the left side. Motion across. And cutting back is Dexter Green. And against the grain, he moves it out for a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Dexter Green, who averaged 4.3, stopped by Mike Little, the freshman from Las Vegas.
Classy little runner. He was hurt a lot this year. He had a lot of injuries. This is the reason he only ran for 991 yards last year. He was up around the 1,400-yard mark. All-time leading rusher in Iowa State University history.
Ray Hardy has moved out to a slot left with Hickson on the wide left. You listen to the fullback and lots of running room. Dexter Green moved it up. I beg your pardon. It was Tom Roach, the fullback, who moved it up to the 43-yard line for another 1st and 10. Coming into the ball game, many fans were expecting a defensive battle because both these teams had outstanding defensive records during the regular season. But sometimes in bowl games, that doesn't hold up. It's very hard to predict performance in a bowl game. Again, it is carried by Tom Roach, the freshman fullback. And he is out there to the 47-yard line. 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Earl Bruce pacing along the sidelines. Earl Bruce had an outstanding record at Iowa State. He was once on the staff of Woody Hayes at Ohio State.
You know, Lindsey, he's 36 and 31 while at Iowa State, but in the last 3 years, he's amassed 24 of those wins. So he was doing some rebuilding earlier, but now he's got his act together.
Rolling now is Grant. He's going to keep the ball. Pumps to the 50, and Grant trying to get to the sticks, and he got very close now. He's down there about the 47-yard line. Mike Little in to make the stop, and they're going to bring out the chain and measure for the possible 1st down. Walter Grant loves to pump and keep that football. So they measure here. Take a longer look. Inches to go. Inches to go on a 3rd down. The referee is Don Lim Dwyer. The umpire is James Riley. The head linesman is George Hill. The line judge is Tony Manisi. The field judge is Gene Steratore. And the back judge is Arthur Bale. For the 3rd down and a yard to go at the 47. Less than a yard to go at the 47. We have 4 minutes, 44 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And there is no score. Got Ray Hardy in a wide right. Preston and Megstrowth are both in there on a double tight end alignment. Give it to the tailback, and Dexter Green was hit and hit hard. It's going to be marked up there now, possibly for enough for the 1st down. Mike Little made the big hit. And he says bring it out again. They're going to measure once again.
What a hit that time by Mike Little, a strong side linebacker. Not a big fella, 5'10", 195. He's going to call for a measurement again. All due credit to the Cyclones. We might mention that they're playing without 10 players that were ruled scholastically ineligible after the quarter system. So after their last game of the year, they have since lost 10 players, 3 defensively, 1 offensively. They did, however, on this occasion, pick up the 1st and 10.
Exactly. Included in those 10 that were dropped because of scholastic ineligibility were 3 starters from the defensive unit of Iowa State.
Chris Bosky, the older brother of Tom Bosky, number 96, who's a linebacker, was the leading defensive tackler on the team. He's no longer on the team.
1st and 10. Little bobble on the snap, but Grant retains control and throws it away out of bounds. Had a little trouble getting control.
Too bad, because Guy Preston was wide open out there. He's a big target anyway, but he had no one close to him. But Grant, with the juggled handoff there, had no chance to look for him.
So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Iowa State at the Texas A&M 47-yard line. The incompletion stopped the clock with 3 minutes 46 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter here at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. The 2nd annual Hall of Fame bowl game. Hall of Fame officials are here tonight for this game, of course, and have been engaging in the pregame festivities the last few days. Wally Grant dropping back, and he throws long, and it is incomplete and almost intercepted. Ray Hardy was the intended receiver, and Darrell Smith was making the effort to pull it down.
Hardy did a good job on that one to keep Smith from intercepting it, because it looked like Smith had a clean shot at it. Quarterback Walter Grant's not getting much time to pass. He's faked a couple of times and run with the ball, trying to throw them off, but Texas A&M is putting a lot of pressure on him.
The chairman of the board of the Football Foundation and Hall of Fame, Vincent DePaul Draddy, is here for the game tonight. And Dick Kazmar, who's president of the Hall of Fame, is also here. Jimmy McDowell, the executive director. 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Grant again. Rolls and sets, steps up and goes long, and it is incomplete. Again, trying to get the long pass down there to Greg Smith this time, the junior from Houston, Texas. That brings up a 4th and 10, brings the punting unit on, read out there by Rich Miller. Still no score in this football game at Legion Field. Birmingham has long been a center of college football interest. The University of Alabama plays a great many of its games here. Auburn plays games here as well. So dropping back is Smith, Darrell Smith, to receive the punt. A high trajectory kick. Fair catch signal goes up, but it takes the bounce this time into the end zone touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. So there is no score. And we'll be back with more action after this timeout. Legion Field in Birmingham, there is no score, and we have 3 minutes 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Texas Aggies have the ball. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Mike Mosley brings him up. He is a sophomore from Humble, Texas. That's in the greater Houston area. Brothers and Dickey in the I formation. And Dickey has the football. He has daylight out there to about the 28. 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Curtis Dickey is an exciting runner, because anytime he can see a little bit of daylight, he is a threat to go a long, long way. He is 6'1", a 205-pounder. Wears number 22. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Brothers is still in there at the fullback. Dickey again. Got the 1st down. It'll be marked at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10.
Tom Bosky had a good shot at Dickey that time in the backfield, but Dickey's a very elusive target, and Bosky couldn't keep up with him. Bosky was pardon me, Lindsay. Bosky was sort of a question mark because he's had a knee injury for some time. And by the way, he's on his honeymoon down here in Birmingham. So although the team has had a lot of fun, Bosky has somewhat been left out.
He was married last Friday. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Brothers got the handoff, and there was a pile-up, and the ball got away briefly for a moment. But the Texas Aggies retained possession at the line of scrimmage. Mike Stensrud was there. He's number 63, one of the great tackles, 6'5", 270, and that is he right there. Mike Stensrud, number 63.
Twice all Big 8, was quite a wrestler in high school. Had 24 matches and pinned 23 of his guys, Lindsay.
Not too bad. Mosley with a short drop. Now scrambles out to the left side, and it's dropped from behind. John Meese dropped him there. It is at the 29-yard line. Loss of 4 will make it 3rd and 14. Doug Teague coming out to a wide right. Junior from Houston, Texas. Dropping back is Mike Mosley. Scrambles out of the pocket to the left side and goes out of bounds. It's going to be marked at the 16-yard line. Neal and White ran him out. Kenny Neal and Rick White. So here comes the punting unit once again, led out there by Dave Appleby. 13-yard loss on that last play. Joe Brown and Mike Schwartz have dropped back. That's Brown and Schwartz there.
Appleby. Formation.
David Appleby waiting to get the snap.
Appleby keeps.
Brown is retreating. And he's got it 33 to the 35, and he is cut down at the 38-yard line.
Brown returns
51-yard punt.
Kyle Golson getting down that time for Texas A&M, number 67, doing a good job. There's Joe Brown fielding that one, but not finding much running room.
So we still have no score in the ball game. We have 1 minute, 6 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter. Dexter Green, the tailback. He had 10 receptions in addition to his 991 yards rushing. Grant. And it is completed to Hardy. And Hardy's across the 40 down to the 35 and on to the 32-yard line. Ray Hardy on a crossing pattern. He from Mulberry, Florida. Errol Smith made the tackle. Pick up a 31 yards on the play. So now, the Cyclones have moved into Aggie territory. Brought out unspotted near the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. They send Stan Hickson out into a wide right. They bring Ray Hardy into a wide left. Dropping back is Grant. Pumps once, and that's all. He never had a chance. Never, ever had any sort of a chance as James Zachary was there from Midland, Texas.
Grant's been avoiding that pressure by stepping back up in the pocket quick. He's always getting a lot of pressure from the Aggies, but has been able to move back up and avoid most of that, get the ball off. That time he could not. Zachary got him.
So it'll be 2nd down. 24 yards to go with the ball back at the 47, and we have 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. 3, 2, 1, and that is that. Time has run out in the period. That's the end of the first quarter of the Hall of Fame Bowl with the score: Iowa State nothing, Texas A&M nothing. We'll be going now to the second quarter. There is no score in the ball game. 2nd down and 24 yards to go, and the ball is on the 47-yard line as the Cyclones of Iowa State come out of the huddle. They have the ball in Texas Aggie territory. Jack Seabrook is the fullback and Dexter Green is the tailback. That's Hardy in motion across. Oh boy. And just in time, and now that's Dexter Green down the right sideline, and he's pulled out of bounds at the 19-yard line. You saw Gary Milligan hanging on to quarterback Grant.
Boy, you talk about it being a game of inches. Gary Milligan had Dexter Green there in the backfield, but Green, being quite elusive, escaped him. Good for a 28-yard gain deep in Texas A&M territory.
So now, the Cyclones are threatening inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Liston and Mextroth are both in there on this alignment, the double tight end. Mextroth is 85, Preston is number 88. They send Ray Hardy into a wide left. They've got Tom Roach and Dexter Green in the I formation. Dexter Green could not get to the out front. James Zachary made the tackle. So it's spotted at the 19 for no gain, and it's 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
Lindsey and Paul Dietzel will be out at the Holiday Bowl, the first ever Holiday Bowl, Friday night here on the Ms. Lou Television Network. Be sure and tune in. Saturday night, the Tangerine Bowl from Orlando, Florida. Big weekend.
2nd down and 10 yards to go at the 19. Grant is pumping, and it is complete. And and it's taken by Hickson, and Stan Hickson is inside the 10, still struggling. Stopped at about the 5-yard line.
Good second effort that time by Stan Hickson, the 5'11", 172-pound senior from Lakeland, Florida, taking that Walter Grant pass there, just refusing to go down.
So it's first down and goal to go now at the 5-yard line for the Cyclones. They make the first serious scoring threat of this ball game here early in the second quarter. Tom Stonebrook coming over the ball now. Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Roach and Green. Here's Green, struggling to the 3-yard line and pushed back. Going to be spotted up there between the 3 and the 4. It'll be second down and goal to go there. Carl Grulich from Richardson, Texas, up to make the tackle along with Doug Carr. Here comes Guy Preston back onto the field. Make it second down and goal at the 4. Out to the wide right is Stan Hickson. The option play. That's dropped for a loss of a yard back at the 5. So it'll be third down and goal to go at the 5-yard line.
Mike Little done a great job that time for the Aggies. He shot through there. It looked like the quarterback Grant had room to run, but Little shut him off. Mike Little, Texas A&M linebacker, just a freshman from Las Vegas.
Ray Hardy's come back into the alignment now for the Cyclones. Big third down and goal to go at the 5. There is no score in the game. Hardy's going out to a wide left. Rolling is Grant. Goes now to the trailer, and Green has a touchdown. Dexter Green took it in at the flag for a touchdown, and the Cyclones are on the scoreboard. It came with 12 minutes, 34 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
Grant's only a 45% passer, but he did pretty good on that one. He's looked pretty good here this evening. Dexter Green, outstanding running back for Iowa State, showing that he can catch the football also.
They move 63 yards in 8 plays. Steve Johnson to attempt the conversion now. And it's wide to the left side. It is no good. Johnson's conversion attempt is no good, and the score is Iowa State 6, Texas A&M nothing. And we'll return with more action after this timeout.
Foot odor, you've had it. Odor eaters insoles. Gobble up odor with Miracle.
And now it'll be the Cyclones kicking off. Texas A&M has aligned themselves to receive it, and they've got Temple Ade and Leandrew Bacon deep. It'll be Steve Johnson teeing it up on the 40-yard line.
Johnson, Iowa State.
Cyclones have taken an early lead of 6-0. And we await the referee's whistle. And there is the Queen, Denise Rollins. Looking on.
Johnson.
Ball is bounded down midfield and is taken on the far side by Leandrew Bacon. And he is across the 25-30. And at the 32-yard line he stops, so it'll be first and 10. And the Aggies take over there. Mike Mosley coming on to run the attack, the sophomore. Andrew is going off. Doug Teague is in a wide right. They've got David Brothers and Curtis Dickey in the I formation. Dickey spins his way across the 35. It'll be marked where his knee hit, being a 3, second down and 7 yards to go.
Tom Bosky in on the tackle that time, showing that he's a gentleman out there, helping Curtis Dickey back up.
Mike Whitwell coming in now at a receiver spot, and he's going out into a wide right in this alignment. Sending Gerald Carter into a wide left. Wide receivers left and right. Brothers and Dickey. Mosley sets up, and he is hauled down from behind. Mike Stensrud, the big tackle, the All-American, brought him down at the 34-yard line. Going to be moved back and spotted at the 32-yard line. So that will make it 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Doug Teague's out into a wide left. Still Brothers and Dickey. And Mike Mosley back. Right over the middle. Incomplete. Well, it was no fault of Mike Mosley. Dickey was the man who could not hang on.
Well, Lindsey, I'm going to take exception with you because I used to be a running back. I think Mosley fired it a little bit too hard to Dickey that time. He sort of rifled it in there. And Dickey says, primarily, I like to run with the football anyway.
Your running backs are all alike. You want to have the ball handed to you.
Yeah.
So back in deep punt formation is David Appleby. Snarls it out. Joe Brown has got it there at the 25.
Whoops, wrong way, Joe. Come back.
Yeah, you bet. Got to turn the corner if he's going to get it back where he was. He'll be spotted at the 30-yard line. Taken 1st and 10 there by the Cyclones. That was Don Wright down there on the tackle. You know, there is a direct connection between Texas A&M and the football fans of the state of Alabama. When Paul Bear Bryant came back to his alma mater as head coach, he came from Texas A&M, where he had been the head coach. And football fortunes at Alabama changed considerably.
Gary Milligan, big tackle there for Texas Tech. Right there, you're looking at him on your screen.
Lampasas, Texas is where Milligan is from. Wally Grant. No, too long and too late. And Jacob Green, who is a great defender, made the tackle. Jacob Green's a junior from Houston, 6'2", 242-pounder. Going to be marked at the 29-yard line for a loss of 1.
And the guy that he tackled, there's a flag on the play out there. There's holding probably on Iowa State. But Jacob Green and the man that he tackled, Walter Grant, both played in Houston. And they played against each other there in high school ball. Statistic, too, on Walter Grant. In the first quarter, he was 4 for 10 in passing, 63 yards and 1 TD. Extra point, however, was missed.
Yardage is being marked off against the Cyclones here. And it's going to put them down deep in their own territory. And it is holding.
Last year, these Aggies participated right here on the Mizzlou Television Network in the Blue Bonnet Bowl against Southern Cal. This year's Blue Bonnet Bowl, Stanford and Georgia, New Year's Eve on the Mizzlou Television Network.
Well, it's all the way back now between the 12 and 13-yard lines. And they try a little draw play, a running draw, and Dexter Green's got the ball, and he gets it out to the 23. Picked up about 10 yards on that play.
11 yards.
Cyclones trying to get a little running room down here. They've got Tom Roach in there at the fullback now. They alternate him with Jack Seabrook. Be a 2nd down play coming. 2nd and 17.
Doug Carr, you're looking at him there, the middle linebacker, top tackler on that Texas Aggie ball club.
Motion across. Wally Grant. And a diving attempt, but across the sideline marker. Greg Smith gathered it in, but he's across the sideline marker, and that makes it incomplete. 3rd and 17. Back at the 23-yard line. Tom Wilson, the young head coach, says he's anxious to get in the full year next year where he can continue to work on the installation of his I formation. Don Perkins, it's pretty tough to change offensive alignments in midseason.
And I was surprised that Wilson did that, but it was sort of a phasing out of the wishbone and the phasing into the I. He did not do it all at once, but still the players are going through a transition out there and not completely familiar with the I running attack.
Stan Hickson out into a wide right. A big deep threat for Wally Grant. Now they try motion across with Ray Hardy coming to the same side. Grant now gets it off. And it is incomplete and almost intercepted. Carl Grulich had a good shot at it, number 19 from Richardson, Texas. Had a great shot and did not pull it off. 4th and 17. So Darrell Smith is dropped back in anticipation of Rick Miller's punt. 6-0 to score here. Iowa State is leading Texas A&M. There's the mascot, the Iowa State mascot. 9 minutes 55 seconds left to play in the first half.
Good opportunity coming up now for Texas A&M. Iowa State's going to have to kick into the wind, and Aggie should have good field position.
Well, under heavy rush, he got it off. Darrell Smith calls for a fair catch at the 45. Penalty marker. Penalty marker. Might have been running into the kicker.
No doubt about it, Lindsey. All 6 white shirts down there all hit the punter at the same time. That's a wonderful feeling, isn't it, Don?
Well, they wanted to make sure they got him down. Kid's tough.
So they'll bring it back and mark it off. Keep in mind that it was 4th and 17. So the penalty now will move them there and make it 4th and 3.
Well, so much for the good field position that I talked about.
And in college football, that is not an automatic first down, and so it's still a punt formation. As Rich Miller is back to do the punting, and Darrell Smith is dropped back deep again.
Smith deep.
High trajectory. Smith sends up the fair catch signal and tries to get away, and it is going to be marked inside the 20-yard line. It's a little jam up there near him, a little traffic.
Had a blocker in front of him that was hit by one of the Iowa State men and knocked back into Smith, who was attempting to catch it.
And the penalty marker went down. So they work on this one administratively for a moment.
Lindsey, I believe the penalty is going to go against Iowa State, an encroachment violation.
That's exactly what it's going to be. Interference with his opportunity to make the fair catch. That's it. Interference with the opportunity to make the fair catch, and it'll be a 1st and 10 now for the Texas Aggies with their field position considerably improved. Earl Bruce, the head coach of Iowa State, peering out onto the field. Earl Bruce is not a flamboyant type of coach, but just goes along getting the job done in a highly efficient manner with not much fanfare.
Which I call keeping that low profile, but he sure turned around that Cyclone Ball Club the last 3 years, as I mentioned earlier, being 8-3.
You suppose he learned that from Woody Hayes, how to keep a low profile? He's on Woody's coaching. So was Lou McCullough on Woody's coaching staff. Lou McCullough is the director of athletics.
Maybe they never had a chance to get out front there being on that staff.
It's entirely possible. When play is resumed, we have 9 minutes 32 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Iowa State's leading by a score of 6-0.
I think they ought to keep trying to kick the ball. Every time they do, something happens and they move closer to scoring. So try a fake punt.
They've got Carter in the wild right. They've got Brothers and Dickey in the I formation. And Dickey's got the football, and he's across midfield, and he keeps right on going inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line of Iowa State.
Well, now we know why he's amassed 2,850 yards through his junior year. Doing just a great job, 27 yards on that one. And for the years I mentioned earlier, he's averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Just fantastic.
So the Cyclones try to dig in the defense. 1st and 10 for the Aggies at the Iowa State 37-yard line. It was Curtis Dickey, and he got inside the 35 to the 33. Picked up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go.
Moved. Stensford was definitely in motion there.
We'll find out at the 2nd now. Offsides against the Cyclones is declined. Of course, you're exactly right. It'll be 1st down and goal inside the 1-yard line.
I'm batting 1,000, 2 for 2.
Gee,
I'm going to call them instead of the officials, I think.
You've got the good eyes.
Yeah.
Before that carry, Dickey had gained 122 yards and 13 carries. just short of the goal line. Armstrong is in there along with Brothers. Armstrong's the tailback. Brothers up and touchdown. Brothers is in for the touchdown. David Brothers from Seguin, Texas. So now the Aggies have tied the score and they have a conversion attempt coming. Dickey moved it down there and David Brothers took it in.
They ought to make Tony Franklin kick these left-footed.
I should think so. The barefooted Tony Franklin. He wears a size 8 shoe. And he kicks the ball with the top of the arch. He doesn't kick it with the instep or with the toes. Then he kicks it into the stands, and it's good.
Show up.
So as they come back up the field, it is the Texas Aggies 7 and Iowa State 6. And we have 7 minutes, 38 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
You said Franklin wears a size 8 shoe?
Wears a regular size 8 shoe, and he said his inspiration to become a kicker was that of Jan Stenerud. He used to watch Stenerud on television when he was 13, 14 years of age, and decided he'd try to do a few things a little differently. And so he worked on it, and he says that he's never had any trouble with his foot except one time in which he made a tackle, and it was against Texas. As a matter of fact,
he wears a size 10 shoe on his right foot after the game. Other than that, he's doing fine.
So the deep men have dropped back now. For Iowa State, they've put Joe Brown back there. Or rather, they put Ray Hardy back there with Dexter Green. And kicking off will be Tony Franklin. There he is.
I heard he once kicked one 96 yards with a kickoff with a little breeze behind his back, but even with a gale, 96 yards.
He says the secret of his kicking is he tries to get the ball up as quickly as he can, as high as he can, and let the wind take care of it. Hardy is waiting, but it's taken in front of him at the goal line and returned to the 10, to the 15, and Green. Dexter Green returns to the 17. So the Cyclones get it. They trail by a point, and they have it at their own 17-yard line here in the second quarter. The president of the Hall of Fame game is Fred Singleton, who was a great All-American tackle at the University of Alabama during his playing days. And then for many years, Fred Singleton was one of the outstanding officials in the Southeastern Conference. Famous football figure in the state of Alabama. Roach and Dexter Green in the I formation. Roach, the freshman, bounced off and continued. Stopped short of the 20-yard line. It'll be spotted up there just about at the 20, I think, for a gain of 3, making it second down and 7 yards to go. Jack Seabrook is coming in now, and Roach is coming off. Seven to 6. Texas A&M is leading. Iowa State sends Ray Hardy out into a wide right. Walter Grant, 14, is the quarterback. Swings it out into the left flat. Taken out there by Dexter Green. Dexter Green got to the 21-22 and is piled up there.
Good lick that time by number 23, Elroy Steen, but I think Steen got the worst of it. He was a little slow getting up that time for the Aggies.
Third down and about 5 yards to go. Iowa State gets Al Moten into the ball game now as Guy Preston comes on. Here comes Ray Hardy out into a wide right. Option play, and Dexter Green's got the ball. But he tries to reverse his field, and the white shirts pile him up. At the 21, it was a loss of a yard. It'll be fourth down. The punting unit will come on. The Texas Aggies are the visiting team at their request. They got those new jerseys for the Texas game, and so no reason to have to get other new jerseys, and so they requested that they be the visiting team, and that is why Iowa State is the home team in Birmingham, Alabama. Rich Miller is coming to do the punting, and Darrell Smith is dropped back to field it for the Texas Aggies. There's Smith.
In formation. Smith lead.
Rich Miller puts it up. Darrell Smith calls for the fair catch again, and this time he makes it. So they'll start first and 10 at their 47-yard line with excellent field position. The Texas Aggies lead 7 to 6.
Good look at Earl Bruce there, head coach for Iowa State. They're leading by 1 point in this contest. Pardon me, they're trailing by 1 point in this contest. 6-year coach, 36-30 record in the 6 years he's been there.
Doug Teague has gone out into a wide right. Brothers and Dickey in the I formation. Mike Mosley chased out of the pocket. I keep it, 45-50. That's for the sideline. Discretion being for the better part of the fellow. He goes out at the 46-yard line.
I tell you what, Mosley's learned early. He's just a sophomore, but he knows how to get out of bounds to keep from taking those shots. Fine quarterback, just a sophomore. Quite a sprinter also.
That kind of knowledge is necessary to survival, and he learned it early. 5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Second down play coming now for the Aggies. Dickey. Bulldog at the 44. Rick White brought him down. I think it's about a yard short. Spotted very carefully. And it is third down and a yard to go. The Aggies now try to keep their drive alive on a third down. Doug Teague coming in with the next play. Reports it to his quarterback, Mike Mosley. Dickey and brothers are in the I formation. Well, he was going to try the option with a reverse pivot, but Rick White spoiled that with a loss back to the 46-yard line. So it's going to be fourth down about 2.5. And it brings David Appleby, the punter, out once again. Joe Brown is dropping back with Mike Schwartz. That is Brown and Schwartz. Appleby gets the snap. Their catch signal goes up, but the ball hits in the end zone for a touchback. It'll be put in play first and 10 at the 20-yard line. So we'll return with more action after this timeout.
The Blue Bonnet Bowl, New Year's Eve, here on the Miss Lou Television Network, and a beauty it's going to be. Stanford against Georgia in Houston, Texas, at the beautiful Astrodome.
Howard, do you want to tell them that I'll be there along with Merle Harmon? And
you and I will be there. Merle will be there with us.
yeah, okay. Just wanted to get that in.
Tom Landry is very happy how you've come out of your shell, by the way.
First and 10 for Iowa State. They held the ball at the 20. Tom Roach got the handoff. Got it out there at about the 24-yard line.
Ball carrier.
It'll be second down and 6 yards to go.
4 yards.
At this point in total offense, Iowa State has 155 total, 89 rushing, 66 passing. For Texas A&M, they've got 146 rushing, a big 0 passing for 146 total.
Jim Wilson, the guard of Iowa State. The right guard, he's a senior from Iowa City, 6'1", 235-pounder. Up to the line in the second and 6 now. Walter Grant. Pumped once, moved out, through, and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Dexter Green up the right sideline. Carl Grulich was covering their defense. It's going to be a third and 6 at the 24-yard line.
Good instinct that time by Walter Grant, getting rid of it when they did.
Hey, Don, he's got your old clothes.
He's a cool dude, ain't he? Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We've already had Thanksgiving.
That's what we call plum cool. Third down and 6 yards to go.
And they accuse you of having wild jackets, Lindsey.
I'll tell you, I'd like to make a trade with him for that one.
Yeah.
Third and 6. Well, Dexter Green, Dexter Green across the 30 gets the first down. Out to the 33-yard line. So Iowa State trailing by a point with 3 minutes 13 seconds left to play in the half. Has the ball, and Gav Preston's coming in now to receiver. You see Dexter Green coming off. Victor Mack has come in now. Sophomore from Mansfield, Ohio, 5'11", 182.
Iowa State sends it back. Number 36.
Jacob Green limping a little bit. Great defensive end there. Possible Lombardi and Outland Trophy winner for 1979.
Here's a timeout for Texas A&M. So the Aggies call for a timeout with 2 minutes 54 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
At halftime, we'll go to Don Tollefson at Mizzlou Control, where he's going to take you on what I consider to be a wonderful guided tour of the new Hall of Fame at Kings Island, Ohio. It is a sensational facility. And Dwayne Dow was out there at the Hall of Fame, and he just couldn't say enough about it. What a great facility it really is. And we'll be talking to Vin Draddy and to Fred Sinkton at halftime also.
You look at the Texas A&M sideline, their young head coach. We were talking about some of the tradition. Back in 1942, the Army had 2 Army football teams, all-star teams. One coached by Wallace Wade, who at one time had been head coach at Alabama. The other coached by Bob Nealon of Tennessee. They met in Washington to select the players alternately. They flipped a coin. Wallace Wade won. He got first choice of all the college football players in America. And his choice was Joran John Kimbrough of Texas A&M. Nealon's first choice was Norm Stanley, who had been the fullback at Stanford University.
Great, Lindsey. I didn't know any of that, I'll have to admit.
Nor did she. So it's going to be first down and 10 yards to go at the 33-yard line for Iowa State. From the tailback. It's out at the 37-yard line. Victor Mack carrying on the play. It'll be second down and 6. Victor Mack during the regular season gained 297 yards rushing, and he averaged 4.2 per carry. You saw Stan Hickson leave the huddle going out into a wide left. Ray Hardy in motion across. Grant, pull down. Oh boy. Zachary got to him. James Zachary from Midland, Texas. And help from Jacob Green.
He lost 10 yards.
Going to be spotted back there at the 27, so it's going to be third down and 16 yards to go.
Milligan in on the tackle for A&M.
High school football program, the foundation for college and pro football. Each year, 27,000 boys receive football scholarships to the 905 universities, small colleges, and, of course, junior colleges in America. And we'll be picking the high school All-America football team right here on the Mizzlou Television Network.
Third and 16, and Grant goes complete, taken by Guy Preston, and he is out of bounds up about the 35-yard line. We have 1 minute 24 seconds left to play in the half. The Aggies are leading Iowa State 7-6. Rich Miller is coming in now to do the punting. It is fourth down coming up, and Rich Miller is coming in to do the punting. Darrell Smith is dropping back to receive it for Texas A&M.
Earl Bruce there doing a little cheering on the sideline, talking to Victor Mack. There's the deep man you're looking at, Darrell Smith.
Snap, boned it out of there. Darrell Smith takes it at the 23, and Darrell Smith goes to the 25. Lost his balance and stumbled his way up to the 28-yard line. So the Aggies got the ball there. They are leading by a score of 7-6.
Primarily a running ball club, but I wonder what they'll do with 1:14 left in the first half of play and about 72 yards to go for a score.
Well, we find out now as they send Doug Teague out into a wide right. Mike Mosley is the quarterback. David Brothers and Curtis Dickey are in the I formation. The draw play, and it's Curtis Dickey. He's out to the 45 to the 50. He pulled a couple of jukes and moved it all the way down to the 37. How'd you like the moves he made at midfield?
I tell you what, Dickey is so fast it's hard to get an angle on him. 9.2, 9.1 speed on a 205 frame. You know, what dimensions for a running back. Really great.
Joe Brown finally brought him down. First and 10 now for the Aggies at the Iowa State 38-yard line. We have 57 seconds left to play in the half. Mike Mosley back. Steps up and throws right, and it's complete at the 28 and down to the 25-yard line. A completed pass to Mike Whitwell from Cotella, Texas. So timeout now for the Aggies. They stop the clock with 45 seconds to play in the half. They have a 1st and 10 at the Iowa State 25-yard line. Well, we wondered what they were going to do with the football with a short time remaining, and they've shown us.
Running play, passing play. Dickey has carried 16 times at this point for 183 yards. Not a bad performance.
So the Texas Aggies talk it over now. They are, of course, well within range for Tony Franklin. Anytime they get to midfield, they're within range for Tony Franklin.
Well, Tony showed us he's not infallible. As we look at Earl Bruce there, he missed a chip shot earlier, and we'll just have to wait and see. He can kick them. Holder of 18 NCAA records, kicking field goals.
This year, 11 of 19 in the field goal department coming into this game.
Hit 42% of those that he attempted over 50 yards.
Which is not bad. 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Aggies at the Iowa State 25-yard line. Clock will start on the snap, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Dickey and Brothers in the I formation. Mosley going long to the corner, and it is overthrown and intercepted out of bounds. Well, it wasn't intercepted even. Deflected out of bounds, so it's an incompletion.
Incomplete.
2nd and 10 at the 25. 37 seconds left. Tony Franklin, the barefooted kicker along the sideline.
7 seconds.
He has set or tied 18 NCAA kicking records. Second down, 10 yards to go. Mosley, and he gets out of trouble. To the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and he is out of bounds at the 6 or 7 yard line.
Good move that time by quarterback Mike Mosley. He really juked the fellow over there on that right sidelines.
29 seconds on the clock. Mosley holding his right elbow and limping a little at the same time. Ball is brought into the inbounds marker, spotted at the 7 yard line, 1st and goal.
Passing game hasn't been that great for the Aggies. Mosley is 1 for 5 for 13 yards, but the ground game is in high gear.
Dickey and Brothers in the I formation. Option play. Mosley got to the 5 yard line and just inside it, John Less. Van Horn, Iowa, in to make the tackle. 2nd down and goal to go. Clock is running. 15 seconds. They're up with a no-huddle formation, ready to go again. And penalty marker's thrown. It's into the end zone. Touchdown. Taken over there by Gerald Carter. Now there's a penalty marker to be checked out.
Randy Cook was on the field for Iowa State. They sent in a substitution for him. Cook could not get off the field in time, Lindsey. And I'm pretty sure that's what the call is going to be, which will mean the touchdown will hold.
It'll hold, and it'll be declined, and it's a touchdown for A&M as they have driven down here to score late in the first half. That's exactly what it is. Illegal procedure declined. Touchdown. Gerald Carter. They get in the corner, and a conversion attempt is coming now. 13-6, the Aggies out front. And we'll see Tony Franklin with David Beal holding. Beal down on one knee. Now you see the bare foot.
It does look swollen, Lindsey.
And the high trajectory kick is good. And with 8 seconds remaining to be played in the first half, it's the Texas Aggies 14, Cyclones of Iowa State 6.
Well, Texas A&M came into this game being a slight favorite. At this point, they are leading 14-6. We still got a lot of football to be played here this evening. Why they were a slight favorite, I'm not sure. Iowa State with an 8-3 record. Texas A&M came in with a 7-4 record. A lot of potential, a lot of speed on that Texas A&M ball club, though.
Ball is being teed up at the 40-yard line, and Ray Hardy and Dexter Green have dropped back as Tony Franklin will kick it off. Been talking about the tradition of Texas A&M. Iowa State has a great football tradition as well, as You look at Ray Hardy and Dexter Green. Many Iowa Staters like to harken back to 1959 when Clay Stapleton had the dirty 30 at Iowa State, a team they still remember, taking way back halfway in the end zone, turned to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, and Ray Hardy is stopped as he got almost to the 20-yard line. Penalty marker thrown back where the ball was kicked.
You have to question Hardy bringing that one out from 5 yards deep, and Franklin hangs them quite high.
Offsides, meaning that the Aggies had a man ahead of the kicker. 4 seconds showing on the clock. So they say to the Cyclones, do you want the ball right here, 1st and 10, or do you want it taken back and kicked again? They did not get it out to the 20. It's just in advance of the 18.
You know, that would be sort of a tough decision to make, Lindsey. You know, with 4 seconds left in the half, I would probably say, who cares?
That's just what they said. Who cares?
Who cares?
It's 1st and 10. And Walter Grant is coming out now to run out the 4 seconds. (14-6). The Texas Aggies out front. Grant brings the Cyclones up. Gives it to his tailback, Dexter Green. Moved it out to the 38-yard line, and time has run out. As he moved it from the 18 to the 38 for 20 yards. So that is the end of the first half of the Hall of Fame Bowl with a score. Texas Aggies 14, Iowa State 6.
Halftime here at the Hall of Fame Bowl, the second Hall of Fame Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama. Scored halftime, the Aggies of Texas A&M 14 and the Iowa State Cyclones 6. And this gentleman seated alongside of me is Marv Tate, who's the athletic director at Texas A&M. Obviously very pleased with the events of the first half.
Howard, I'm really excited. Curtis Dickey is just having a super first half. I think he broke the Hall of Fame record in the first quarter, as a matter of fact. And our kids are playing well, and the team is fired up. We're playing a great team in Iowa State. And I tell you, this Hall of Fame Bowl is really exciting with us.
You've had some excitement in your career. 12 years you've been at A&M. You led it for 3 years at A&M.
I was very fortunate. I had an opportunity to play under the great Paul Bear Bryant, who was my coach my senior year. And yes, Texas A&M has been an awful lot to me, Hart, through my days.
I think I've heard Bryant's name mentioned. What we're watching now is the Texas A&M Band, certainly one of the best known in the United States, under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Haney, the Associate Director Major Joe McMullen, and the Assistant Director is Lieutenant Billy Joe Jay. They're really outstanding. I'm sure that Marv Tate, the athletic director of A&M, very pleased with the recognition they've received, and deservedly so.
All right, it's a very unique band. We're very, very proud of it. You know, there are a lot of people who say that they buy tickets just to come see the Texas Aggie Band, but we think that our football team complements that now. Joe Tom Haney has done an outstanding job with this band. He took over from a man that had been there for many years, and it's just exciting. I think you can see the drills and the precision that these young men do. They flew in here from Texas on Monday night. They had their finals last week, and yes, they represent us well.
I'd like to thank you, Marv Tate, the athletic director of Texas A&M, for being with us at halftime. Let's give a listen to this sensational band from Texas A&M. State through the 60s. Certainly Woody Hayes is no stranger to you.
No, I enjoyed my years at Ohio State. I really like Iowa State, though, in the Big 8. That's where I make my living now.
Your band, all told 200 strong. Certainly this young lady is a very attractive addition. And I'm sure that the fans back at Iowa State are very pleased to have this aggregation. They're really terrific.
Well, we have great following. We have a great director, of course, in Jimmy Reynolds, and we're happy to be here, and we really appreciate the hospitality shown to us by the people from the Hall of Fame Bowl.
Well, Lou McCullough, the athletic director here at Iowa State, at this point in the game, your team's down 13-6. Things have a way of kind of turning around completely in the second half. I'm sure that's what you're hoping for.
I certainly am. I thought the last 2 minutes we should have kept the ball and never let them have it again, but that's the breaks, I guess, of the game. But I think we'll come back and play a good second half.
All right, Lou, let's listen to your great band from Iowa State, the University Cyclone Marching Band. State University Cyclone Marching Band. At halftime of the Hall of Fame Bowl, it's 14-6. Texas A&M leads Iowa State. This gentleman is Lou McCullough, the athletic director of Iowa State. We look forward to an interesting second half, Lou, and lots of luck to you down the road.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. I think we'll have a good second half.
I'll tell you one thing about your Iowa State fans. They know how to party. I'm staying in the same hotel with them.
That's one thing.
We'll be back to the Hall of Fame Bowl right after these messages from your local station. Back at the Hall of Fame Bowl, Birmingham, Alabama. Howard David. This gentleman to my left is Vincent DePaul Dratty, chairman of the board of the National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame. A gold medal winner from the Hall this year from the foundation, and you're in some fast company.
I'm in very fast company. As you know, Howard, we have given the medal to 5 presidents, many generals, and outstanding businessmen, and it's a great group of men, and I'm very pleased and very proud to be a part of it.
Hall of Fame in Kings Island, Ohio is quite a spectacle, as we were just watching.
Well, Kings Island is just super. I hope that everybody in the United States will have an opportunity to go out there and see this wonderful Hall of Fame. It really is the greatest thing that's happened to intercollegiate football in a long time.
This gentleman is Fred Sinkton, the co-founder of the Hall of Fame Bowl. Fred, you have to be happy with the turn of events thus far.
Oh, it's a terrific ball game. The weather's perfect. It's the greatest reception I ever heard for two bands, and everything is just superb, and we're just pleased to be a part of the Hall of Fame.
Fred, thank you very much for being with us, and continued success with the ball.
Don't forget to come back here. We adopted you now. You're part of Alabama, boy.
You got it. You got it.
As we start the second half here now, you see warming up along the sideline Walter Grant, the quarterback for Iowa State. The halftime score is 14-6, and Texas A&M is leading it. Iowa State University scored first in the ball game when Dexter Green scored on a 5-yard touchdown pass from Walter Grant. The extra point was not good. It was 6-0 with 12 minutes 34 seconds remaining in the first half. David Brothers scored for Texas A&M on a 1-yard run with 7:38 remaining in the second quarter. Franklin kicked the point, sent the Aggies ahead 7-6, and then Gerald Carter on a 3-yard pass from Mark Mosley scored for the Aggies. Franklin kicked the point to make it 14-6 at halftime. And it will be Iowa State kicking off. Steve Johnson has teed it up. Temple Aday and Leandra Bacon have dropped back, and there they are standing along the goal line. Aday and Bacon. As we start the second half of the Hall of Fame game at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It's taken at the 2-yard line and returned to the 5 by Bacon. He gets across the 10, then is upended, and it'll be at about the 15-yard line, possibly the 20. At the 20-yard line, it is 1st and 10. The halftime statistics are remarkably even, Don.
They are. Texas A&M has a slight edge, 217 in total yards to 178 for Iowa State. Interesting stat is that neither team has a turnover.
So it is 1st and 10 now for the Texas Aggies. They have Brothers and Curtis Dickey in the eye for Mike Mosley. Dickey finds daylight. And if he ever bursts through there, he's out across the 40-yard line and out to the 43 for a 1st and 10. Mike Schwartz, the all-conference safety man, is up to make the tackle.
Must be a terrifying feeling to be a defensive back and have Dickey coming through there with that 9-1 speed and wondering how can you contain this man.
In forward passing in the first half, Mosley was 2 for 6, 16 yards. They did it primarily on the ground. So got Brothers and Dickey in the I formation, and bobble the snap. Scramble is on. And Iowa State has recovered the fumble, I believe they did.
And now we have our first turnover in the game here in the second half.
Tom Bosky got it. Tom Bosky got it for the Cyclones, 1st and 10 outside the 42-yard line.
And Lindsey with 14:25 still remaining in this third quarter. Dickey already has picked up 207 yards on 17 carries.
So now Walter Grant brings the Cyclones up. He's got Dexter Green and Tom Roach in his I formation. Roach is struggling. The freshman fullback got only about a half yard. Call it 2nd and 10, still at the 42-yard line. Doug Carr, the middle linebacker, was in to make the tackle for Texas A&M. Now here comes fullback Jack Seabrook into the ball game.
Tom Roach there on your screen going out as Seabrook comes in.
Al Moten is also in the ball game now for the Cyclones. Dexter Green's in the right set. The option play, and Dexter Green gets the flip. He goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Short yardage gain on the play. And the 3 will make it 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
The Aggies have great pursuit. I've noticed Dexter Green on a number of occasions try to reverse his field. Cannot do so. When he goes wide, he has to keep going wide. He cannot cut back.
Good many of the fans here are nonpartisan, although the thousands of fans followed each of these teams here to Birmingham, Alabama. And the teams have been feted by the bowl officials in the last few days. They have been thoroughly entertained. Dexter Green keeps the drive alive with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Carl Gulick made the tackle. Dexter Green, a senior from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Runs with a lot of authority for a guy no bigger than he is. 5'9", 172 pounds, a lot of balance, and runs with some power.
They're doubling receivers to the right side. Hardy and Hickson out there. High formation for Walter Grant. Gives it to his freshman fullback, Tom Roach. And he gets only a yard to the 30, and it's 2nd down and 9 yards to go. In the first half here, Dickey carried the ball 16 times, and he rushed for 184 yards. His longest was 54, as he set about setting Hall of Fame records right away. Mike Little, you saw out there, the linebacker, but the handoff went to Dexter Green. And Dexter Green moved it to the 26-yard line for 4, where it'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
Green now has, in 13 carries, is right up to 91 yards. So he's having a pretty good day also.
Here comes Guy Preston back into the huddle with the next play. Al Moten is coming off for Iowa State. A big 3rd down play coming in now. 3rd and 5. Iowa State at the Texas A&M 26-yard line. Texas A&M is leading 14-6. Grant guns it. Incomplete. Stan Hickson running post. That'll bring up a 4th and 5 at the 26.
Intended for Hickson.
Carl Grulich covering defensively. And here comes Steve Johnson, the field goal man out there for the Cyclones. He has hit 5 of 6 during the regular season. Line of scrimmage is the 26. So it'll be about a 43-yarder. We'll check it exactly. That's what it is. 43 yards.
A 43-yard field goal.
The hash mark right. It carries, and it is no good. It is no good, and it'll be spotted at the line of scrimmage, which is the 26. And it'll be taken by the Aggies 1st and 10. They have it at the 26, and the score is still Texas Aggies 14 and Iowa State 6.
Johnson had the range on that one. Nice little breeze at his back, too, as we go from right to left.
So we have 12 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Texas Aggies get the football. Mike Mosley brings him up. David Brothers and Curtis Dickey in the I formation. Dickey out to the 30-yard line for 4, where it'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Rick White from Burlington, Iowa, made the tackle.
Cody Rice in big number 70 tried to lead the way on that one, but too many Cyclone defenders out in front of him.
Tackle made back Clement.
This time they are sending Gerald Carter out into a wide left. And Mike Whitwell into a wide right. Reverse pivot. Mosley keeps. And got to the 34-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and short yardage. John Meese sent to make the tackle. 3rd and 2 for the Texas Aggies, coached by Tom Wilson.
Well, regardless of what level you're playing at, college, pro, high school, whatever, the game consists of 3rd downs. Can you convert?
That's the whole idea. Taken by Curtis Dickey. And he got in front of the sticks for the 1st down, just barely before he went out of bounds, but he knew where they were, and he picked it up.
I sure like him as a running back. He's got the good size for it, the good speed, and he's not necessarily a straight-ahead runner. He's got a lot of good moves.
Curtis Dickey, a junior from Bryan, Texas, which is right there at Texas A&M. 6'1", 205-pounder.
Would you like to be other teams in the Southwest Conference next year, knowing you got to look at Curtis Dickey again next season? He's a horse.
He's an exciting ball player because anytime he sees a little daylight, he just might. 1st and 10 at the 36. Well, he pumped the screen first and then threw out there to Gerald Carter. Incomplete. It's simply an incompletion that makes it 2nd and 10.
Big John Les there coming back for Iowa State. 6'3", 223-pound sophomore. Made 103 tackles last year, either solo or assisted. Iowa State tough defensively. Along that front 5, they average 230 pounds per man.
2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Aggies. Now the draw play this time to Curtis Dickey. And no matter what play it is, if he carries, it's yardage. And this time he's out there to the 44-yard line. Mike Clemens made the stop. John Less is the linebacker, the sophomore from Van Horn, Iowa. 3rd down and 2 yards to go at the 44. Dickey, penalty marker was thrown, and he got right to the 6, and then with the second effort got ahead, I think. But there is a flag to be checked out.
2 yards, there's a flag on the play.
The indication is holding against the Texas Aggies. So that will nullify what would have otherwise been a first down.
The Aggies also had the lead in penalties in the first half of this game. They were penalized only twice, but for 40 yards. Iowa State had one penalty, a 17-yarder. How do you come up with a 17-yard? Well, whatever.
A&M penalized 15 yards for holding.
This moves the ball back to the 29-yard line.
What we had was a big-footed official.
Oh, hey, Lindsey, all these running backs are alike, aren't they? Always second-guessing officiating.
3rd down. And 17 yards to go at the 29. Armstrong is in there to tailback now. On the draw play, Adger Armstrong is carried. But only out to the 39. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and the punter will come out. David Appleby is coming out to kick. And dropping back is Joe Brown. Joe Brown is a freshman from Pahokee, Florida. Senior year in high school, he had 12 interceptions. There he is right there, Joe Brown. Appleby's kick. Bounce back upfield. Hit somebody. And may very well be an Aggie reception. They think so in any case. So the argument is on as that ball bounded around and the Aggies thought he touched the cyclone and they had it, but the officials say no. Now they say yes. The Aggies get the football. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Ball took a crazy bounce on that one, Lindsey. Probably inadvertently just hit one of the Texas Iowa State players, but really was taking a squirrely bounce out there.
Well, Don Wright was aware of that, and he pounced on the ball to give the Aggies possession. A big break in the game. 1st and 10.
A&M has possession.
Just short of the 37. So we'll be back with more action after this timeout.
Brigham Young Holiday Bowl.
1st and 10 now for the Aggies at the 37. Curtis Dickey, and Dickey is inside the 35. At the 34-yard line, he got 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Mike Stensrud had a shot at Dickey that time in the backfield, and it has happened all evening here. Several people have been getting shots at the backs, both Curtis Dickey and Dexter Green in the back, able to elude them and pick up a little yardage.
They bring Doug Teague out of the ball game, bring Mike Whitwell in, so it'll be Carter and Whitwell at wide receivers. David Brothers and Curtis Dickey in the I formation for Mike Mosley. Draw play again. Curtis Dickey can't get away. Illinois. Back at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Tom Bosky, second, had an injury for part of the time, was questionable coming into tonight's contest, but he's there and done a good job.
Kenny Neal is a sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. He moved into the nose guard when John Meese went out with an injury early. Moved over to guard in place of Randy Cook starting tonight's ball game. Mosley now runs out of the pocket, but runs into a flock of red shirts. So he takes a big loss. Rick White was the man who upset him. And it's being marked back at the 49-yard line and brings the punter, David Appleby, out for Texas A&M. Joe Brown drops back, standing at his own 10-yard line to receive the punt. Texas Aggies are leading by a score of 14-6. We're in the 3rd quarter. Hall of Fame Bowl at Legion Field in Birmingham. Takes an Aggie bounce this time. And it's being killed down near the 2-yard line. So the Cyclones get it, but they get it 1st and 10. It's spotted at the 4-yard line.
Iowa State 1st and 10 on their own 4.
Cyclones trailing in the ball game, despite the fact that they scored first here tonight. We have 7 minutes, 27 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. Perfect weather here tonight for football, as we say here in the South.
In the first quarter, Lindsey, when Texas A&M did the same thing, downing the ball inside the 5, Iowa State came out throwing the football right away. We'll see if Walter Grant goes to the air. We'll be back with more action after this message from your local station.
From West Texas, back there for the Aggies. First attempt to 4. Iowa State in their own territory. So they run the quarterback draw and just simply open up the line for Walter Grant, and he spurts through there past the 15-yard line.
Good play that time. I'm sure Coach Earl Bruce called it, but it was wide open there for the quarterback, Walter Grant.
You say that as though you have an idea, which could be true, that not many quarterbacks want to call their own number on the quarterback draw.
Not down there anyway. Give it to somebody.
First down and 10 yards to go at the 17-yard line. This time they got it to Dexter Green, but he got out only as far as the 18. A yard gain on the play to make it 2nd down and 9. Stan Hickson's coming back into the ball game. Guy Preston back into the ball game for Iowa State from Ames, Iowa. Fans started arriving here over the weekend from Ames, and they have been in evidence all around the town here in Birmingham, as have been the fans of the Texas Aggies. Short drop. Just a quick out over there, and it's taken by Stan Hickson. The 24-yard line, he picked up 6, so it'll be 3rd down and 3. Minutes exactly remaining to be played now in the third quarter. Next play is being brought in now by Moto. And Zach Seabrook coming in as well.
Good look at Tom Wilson, head coach, taking over after 6 games there from Emerly Ballard to resign after the 6th game of the Aggie season this year.
Now, timeout is called as Walter Grant brought him up there, took a look, and immediately called an Iowa State timeout.
17 seniors on this Iowa State ball club. They say it's the best group of seniors they've had in a long time. 15 seniors on the squad for Texas A&M. Make that 14 seniors. They've got 8 offensively, 8 defensively, 5 offensively, and then, of course, that super kicker, Tony Franklin, that they're going to miss next year.
Coach and quarterback talk things over during this timeout. Earl Bruce talking to Walter Grant. He comes back. He'll have a 3rd and about 3.5. Well, just in advance of the 23-yard line, and the Texas Aggies are leading by a score of 14-6. This is the 2nd annual Hall of Fame bowl game here in Birmingham. Last year, Maryland defeated Minnesota by a score of 17-7. That was the inaugural, which drew more than 44,000 and set a record for attendance in bowl games in their first year. Now, here come the Cyclones. Walter Grant with motion across. Gets it to his tailback, Dexter Green. Big opener, and he got a 1st down at the 33-yard line.
Mike Little making the stop on that one. Mike Little, a freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada. They're looking at Dexter Green there. Take a look at it again in slow motion. Just a little veer. Green's got such quick feet. He finds the daylight in a hurry and runs with a lot of explosion. Not the quickness that Curtis Dickey has, but he's got a lot of explosion. Green has now carried 15 times for 103 yards.
Stan Hickson is out into a wide right. Ray Hardy in a wide left. Who made the juggling catch. Guy Preston controlled the ball and went out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Texas A&M. A 1st and 10 for Iowa State.
He's got to want to shoot his quarterback, Walter Grant, on that one. We're looking at it again in slow motion. Guy Preston was so wide open on this, and Grant almost overthrew him. It had to be a super effort. Look at that. A high, hard pass there. Great juggling act, but a good catch by Preston.
key word in that reception. Excellent concentration by the receiver.
You bet.
1st and 10 now at the 46-yard line of Texas A&M. The Aggies lead it by a score of 14-6. We're in the third quarter. Victor Mack is in there now. Grant now going long. Incomplete to Ray Hardy.
Elroy Steen defending on that one. Hardy had him beat by a little bit, but Steen was in pretty good position. It would have had to have been a perfect pass from Walter Grant to complete it.
They were going on the old theory of following a big play with another attempt at a big play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 46-yard line. 4 minutes, 49 seconds left now in the third quarter. Coming out to a wide right is Stan Hickson, the senior from Lakeland, Florida. Walter Grant had it to his tailback, Victor Mack. He's trying to get to the sticks, and he got very close. He's at the 36-yard line, but I think about a foot short. They'll spot it and look.
Oh, these are the kinds you got to make. You have to make it on this one. If you don't make it, you better go for it on 4th down and get it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to contain Texas A&M.
Exactly. They got to go here. 3rd down and a foot to go. They've got Dexter Green back in there at tailback. They have Tom Roach in at fullback. Green got the 1st down. At least I think he did.
You were so certain there for a minute, Lindsey.
I was certain. Now the reason I hesitate is I don't know where they're going to spot it. I thought he made it. But they don't let me spot the ball. They're going to bring out the chain now.
You can call them, but you can't spot them.
That's right.
Okay. They have 22 officials out there on the field. 11 of them said, no, he didn't get it. And 11 of them said, yes, he did.
Well, they stretched the chain now. Referee Don Dwyer is down there on one knee to take a close look. Well, it's spotted short, so it's 4th down. Dwyer is really, he must have the jeweler's glass to look at this.
Well, I still contend that Iowa State has to go for it, and they've got to make it. Otherwise, they can pack up and head back for Ames, because you've got to, 2 shots at it in less than a yard.
I could not agree with you more. They absolutely must. Here comes Ray Hardy back into the ballgame with the play as Hickson comes off. 4th down, inches to go.
Total yardage very close. 255 for A&M, 254 for Iowa State.
Dexter Green is the tailback. Tom Roach is the fullback. Quarterback sneak. Walter Grant. I think he got it that time, but I thought he got it the other time.
I'm going to agree with you this time, Lindsey, but boy, they didn't get it by much. Of course, if we want to believe Al Moulton there, he's waving his hand.
Al Moulton is certain.
Saturday night, right here on the Mizzlou Television Network, this game, and it's going to be a beauty. Pittsburgh against North Carolina State in the Tangerine Bowl. Pittsburgh gave #1 ranked Penn State all they could handle last week of the regular season.
They certainly did. That was a good ball game. I watched that.
And the Wolfpack, always a representative football team.
1st down and 10 yards to go now for the Cyclones of Iowa State. They have the ball at the Texas Aggie 36-yard line. Walter Grant. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. Tom Roach, the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 36. Tom Roach held it for his blocking prowess at the fullback spot in the I formation. He's a freshman from Rock Rapids, Iowa. There comes Ray Hardy back into the ball game from Mulberry, Florida. Clock was stopped on the incompletion with 3:03 remaining in the third quarter. Reverse pivot. Keeper for the quarterback, and Grant moves inside the 30-yard line. Grant to the 28.
Take a look at quarterback Walter Grant. Looking at him here in slow motion. He's coming around. You're going to see him fake a pitch right there. Fakes the pitch, sends that defender upfield, and then cuts back inside him. Good timely fake there. Just enough of a fake to get that defensive man upfield so he could turn in.
Third down and 2 yards to go for Iowa State. Hardy in motion across. Dexter Green. The Aggie defense got to him that time, and he did not make it, so they've got another fourth down coming up.
Left guard.
Took a loss of a foot or so there, short of the 28-yard line. Gary Milligan from Lampasas, Texas, in to make the stop.
Nice play on the game.
So fourth down is coming up with about 2.5 yards to go outside the 28-yard line of the Aggies for Iowa State.
Big Guy Preston going into the lineup, Al Moulton coming out.
And now we're getting a timeout signal. Texas A&M's taking a timeout. We'll return with more action after this timeout. So now when players resume, we'll have 1 minute 56 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Texas A&M is leading Iowa State by a score of 14-6. Some very pretty people in this area. And it'll be fourth down, 2.5 yards to go. For Iowa State, they have the ball outside the 28-yard line of Texas A&M. Dexter Green is the tailback. Fullback is Tom Roach. Walter Grant's the quarterback. Ray Hardy in motion across. First pivot on the pitch to Green. He's got the first down. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, 5. Touchdown! Dexter Green with Tom Roach throwing a block to clear the way. So Dexter Green has scored the touchdown.
Let's take a look at this again from the ground level. Motion going the other direction. They're going to see a good fake here by Walter Grant. Right there, he pitches it back to Dexter Green. Dexter Green gets a good block right there. Blocking out number 21, Dan Davis. Roach throws the block. Green knows he's going in right there. He starts to signal, but he's not too sure because Carl Grulich is right there. Has to pull his hand down. Nice run, though, by Dexter Green. 28 yards.
So there's a conversion attempt coming. The score is 14-12 just now. And there's happiness for the Iowa Staters, and they're going to go for two. They're going to go for two to try to tie the score here. In college football, the two-point conversion is an option. Green and Roach. And now Grant steps back. Goes it, and it is incomplete. Carl Grulich. Carl Grulich, number 19, got there to bring it up. So it is still 14-12. The Texas Aggies are leading.
Dexter Green also having a good day right now. He's carried 18 times for 131 yards. As we told you earlier, Curtis Dickey for Texas A&M is right at 230 yards, 228 yards. But both having excellent running days as they have all year.
We are very late in the third quarter now as Iowa State will kick off. They'll have Temple A Day. Texas Aggies will have Temple A Day and Leandro Bacon back to receive it. As you see, Coach Earl Bruce along the sideline. Cyclones back in this ballgame. That is Leandro Bacon, who is back there with Temple A Day at the goal line. And Steve Johnson will kick it off from the 40-yard line. The ball has rolled off the tee, and he'll have to tee it up again. The referee's whistle starts the kicker forward.
Kevin Liggins now doing the kicking for the Iowa State Cyclones.
Bacon is waiting, and he's got it at the goal line. He is back at the 5, the 10, the 15, up to the 20, the 25, and he is stopped in advance of that. It's going to be spotted back about where he went across the 25. Penalty marker on the play.
Going to be against Texas A&M. Probably a clipping. That's usually what happens on kickoff returns. Overzealous intended blockers.
Back about the 12-yard line. And since it occurred on the run back, it'll be first down and 10 yards to go. And it was clipping on the run back. So the Aggies have a 2-point lead, and they have the ball at their own 12. And the Cyclones of Iowa State want the ball. We're at the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame bowl game at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Give it to Curtis Dickey. Got across the 15 and on up to the 18-yard line before Rick White brought him down. Picked up about 6 to make it 2nd down and 4 yards to go.
Curtis Dickey and Mike Mosley, in addition to being teammates on the football team, also teammates on the track. When A&M won the Southwest Conference Track Championship, a 400-meter relay team had Mosley leading it, and Dickey is the anchor.
And they use that speed on the football team. They're up there in an I formation with Dickey in the tailback and Mosley the quarterback and David Brothers in between them. Option play, and Mosley's got it, and the trailer is Dickey. And Dickey now is forced out of bounds as the Cyclones played the option play and played it well. The first fake to the fullback, and the quarterback carrying it to the late pitch, and it was a gain of a yard on the play.
That's a lot of speed heading toward the corner. Quarterback Mike Mosley and Curtis Dickey, 194, 192, or 91, depending on whose clock you're using. But in any event, a lot of speed heading around there.
It'll be 3rd down, about 3 yards to go. They have it at the 19-yard line, their own. The Cyclones are excited. They want to force them into a punting situation to get the football. Iowa State trails by 2. Dickey. Well, he didn't get it. That'll bring out the punting unit. He's at the 20-yard line. That'll bring out David Appleby as the Aggies will have to give it up. Mike Leaders was there to make the stop. Joe Brown already has dropped back to field the punt for Iowa State. David Appleby, junior from Dallas, Texas.
Well, you talk about momentum. You can't see it. It's hard to describe it, but you can sure feel it. And I think maybe Iowa State has it going.
They feel they have it going. Appleby gets the kickoff. Brown calls for the fair catch. Lets it go, and it takes an Aggie bounce across the 40. And it's going out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So that is where the Cyclones get it. 1st and 10 at their own 38. 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and they trail by 2 points. So the Iowa State fans are all ready to lend whatever support they may here at Fame Legion Field. Greg Smith coming into the lineup.
After losing last year to North Carolina State in the Peach Bowl, Coach Earl Bruce went on record as saying, we just got started too late in that ball game. They've got started earlier in this one. They've got a good chance at it.
Dexter Green's the tailback. Hardy in motion across. Grant has the ball. Goes long down the right sideline, incomplete. They were really letting out Greg Smith, the junior from Houston, Texas. 2nd and 10 at the 38.
On March the 21st of 1979, we'll go from the gridiron to the hardwood at the fabled Madison Square Garden in New York, the finals of the National Invitational Basketball Tournament, right here on the Ms. Lou Television Network.
We have 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. And again is Greg Smith in a wide right. Fullback is now Jack Seabrook. Dexter Green still the tailback, and that's Hardy in motion across. Give it on the draw to Dexter Green. Well, he's hard to bring down. He just keeps coming forward and finally stopped short of the 44-yard line. Time has run out, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter of the Hall of Fame Bowl with the score. Texas Aggies 14, Iowa State 12. Darrell Smith has dropped back to field it for the Texas Aggies as we start the 4th quarter here at the Hall of Fame Bowl game in Birmingham, Alabama. Rich Miller is back to do the punting. Through 3 quarters, A&M rushed for 247 yards, Iowa State for 199. That's Smith deep. A&M passed for 16 yards and Iowa State for 98. Smith sends up the fair catch signal and makes the fair catch at the 32-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
The winning coach of tonight's Hall of Fame Bowl will receive the Toyota Trophy. And then you got to look at it there, and what a beautiful trophy it is. Going to the winning coach of tonight's 2nd Hall of Fame Bowl.
And right now, the leading team is Texas A&M as they lead by a score of 14-12, and they have the ball 1st and 10 short of their own 32-yard line. Mike Mosley quarterbacking, gives it off to his tailback, Curtis Dickey. Dickey got out there to the 34-yard line, picked up a couple of yards, make it 2nd down and 8 out there.
Dickey unofficially with 231 yards rushing and still a quarter to go. That's amazing.
It is all of that. 14-12, Texas Aggies out front. Wide receivers left and right, 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Mosley sets it up. And it is complete up at the 48-yard line. As Mike Mosley dropped back and hit his receiver, Gerald Carter, on the button.
National High School Athletic Coaches Association, and what a great group those folks are. It's a foundation for college and pro football. Each year, 27,000 boys receive football scholarships to the 905 universities, small colleges, and junior colleges in America.
1st down and 10 yards to go for the Aggies. They have the ball at their own 48-yard line. Mosley now chased out of the pocket, scrambling on and throws on the run. And it is complete with an amazing catch at the 47 by Doug Teague. The junior from Houston, Doug Teague, reached up and controlled the ball.
Let's take a look at it again in slow motion. You're going to see quite a lick put on Mike Mosley by number 62, right there. Number 62, Kenny Neal, hits him, but he can't bring him down. Mosley keeps his balance and finds his receiver open. A great catch there. Really a good play.
Good for only 5 because he had faded so far, and it's handed off to Curtis Dickey, and he gets up to the 45-yard line. It's still short of a 1st down. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 2.5 yards to go. Here comes Doug Teague in with the next play from Coach Tom Wilson of the Texas Aggies. Or out to the right side goes Gerald Carter. Teague is in a wide left. Well, contact made before the snap. Penalty markers everywhere.
Everything went but the ball.
It certainly did. Quarterback goes into a 2-step. Illegal procedure against the Aggies. That'll be a tough one for him. So it'll still be 3rd down, but that'll add 5 more. Make it about 7, possibly 8. There's the ball back to the 50-yard line. Mike Whitwell has come into the ball game, and Doug Teague has gone out. Carter to the left side, Whitwell to the right side. Dickey and Brothers in the eye. Mosley. And at the 42-yard line, McKeska, Russell McKeska, was the receiver.
Boy, that's knowing your yardage, knowing how much you need to pick up that 1st down. That time, Russell McKiska was right on the money, picked it up by a yard.
At the 41-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for the Aggies. They keep their drive alive, and they're leading in this game by a score of 14-12. Teague wide to the left side. Gerald Carter wide to the right side. Curtis Dickey, the ever-present tailback, and he has the ball. It's hard to bring down. At the 37-yard line, John Les finally stopped him. Gain of 4 will make it 2nd and 6.
John Les got about a 3-yard ride that time from Curtis Dickey. John Les goes 223 pounds. Curtis Dickey 205. But he's got that blazing 9-1 speed. Take a look at it again. Quarterback Mike Mosley, and you can see the nice long stride, smooth striding Curtis Dickey there, running with a lot of power.
2nd down and 6 yards to go. Curtis Dickey. And he is at the 33-yard line for 4. 3rd and short. Mike Leaders made the stop for Iowa State.
Dickey's having his best rushing effort of his career at Texas A&M. 241 yards, passing his previous high of 237. What an evening. He's having a career out there tonight.
Wonder what he'll do when he's a senior and he grows up and all that.
Doug Teague out to a wide right, 3rd and 1 at the 32-yard line for the Texas Aggies in Iowa State territory. Again, Dickey. And he's got the 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
at center.
So the Aggies keep it alive as they drive steadily downfield, and they have a 2-point lead. 11 and a half minutes left to play in this game.
Iowa State 29.
Mike Mosley has quarterbacked this game throughout for the Texas Aggies, and he's a sophomore. Brothers the fullback, Dickey the tailback. Dickey again. Well, that time he was stacked up as he got to the 30-yard line, and it was Mike Leaders again, number 47. Loss of a yard will make it second down and 11 yards to go.
Dickey going out of the lineup now, getting a slight breather. Coming in is number 25, Mike Whitwell.
Whitwell brought the next play in. Adger Armstrong is in the backfield now. He's a senior from Houston, 225-pounder. Adger Armstrong takes the pitch. Big fullback, lots of running room. And he is at the 22-yard line.
Looking at it again in slow motion, you're going to see Armstrong run right through the arms of number 38, Brian Johnson. There's Armstrong turning it up right there. And right there is the intended tackler, Brian Johnson. Armstrong just going through him with a lot of determination.
Third down for the Aggies, and 3 yards to go. They have the ball at the Cyclones' 22-yard line. Iowa State trying to dig in the defense now. Armstrong again. He's hard to bring down, struggling to get to the sticks, and he may have made it. Got across the 20-yard line all right.
They made 3 yards.
Carl, they misspelled Mislu. It's only 1 Z, but Merry Christmas, obviously, to everybody watching Coast to Coast. And on Friday night, Lindsey Nelson will join up with Paul Dietzel and Mike Smith out in San Diego. I would say Lindsey does a lot of traveling, but I think you got to pass yourself somewhere over Chicago 6 or 7 times a year, Lindsey. Then Don Perkins and I, along with Wayne Dowell, will be at the Tangerine Bowl on Saturday night, right here on Bislu.
First down and 10 yards to go at the 19-yard line. The Aggies have a 2-point lead. We're in the 4th quarter here. They try the draw play. Curtis Dickey back in the ballgame at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown for Curtis Dickey. Dickey went 19 yards, bursting in at the flag for another Texas Aggie touchdown.
Had a nice screening block, too, from Gerald Carter downfield. Let's take a look at it again. You see him here into the line, break wide. He's going wide all the way, and you're going to pick up right there. Number 24, Gerald Carter, doing a good bit of blocking for a tight end. They usually just go out for passes and otherwise take a risk. Did a good job that time, enabled Dickey to get in.
So it is now 20-12 and a conversion attempt coming. And Tony Franklin, the barefoot boy, is in to attempt the conversion. Dickey has carried 32 times for 266 yards. That is unofficial. Our trajectory conversion is good. And the score is 21-12. The Aggies are leading with 9 minutes, 2 seconds left in the game. We'll return with more action after this timeout. Deep men now deployed to receive the kickoff for Iowa State, and they have Dexter Green back with Ray Hardy. And penalty is being inflicted for a foul committed on the touchdown run, which will put the ball down at the 45-yard line. A 15-yard penalty assessed against Iowa State for the infraction on the touchdown run, and it puts the ball back at the 45 for the kickoff.
I'm sure it's not very funny, Lindsey, but can you imagine giving Tony Franklin an additional 15-yard head start?
He may clear the stands.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about the Texas A&M ground game, lest we forget Big George Woodard, who sat out this entire year trying to recuperate from a knee injury. If he comes back next year, he's the all-time leading rusher in Aggie history, just 14 yards ahead of Curtis Dickey.
Well, Tony Franklin's been called over for a conference now. They want to advise him where exactly they want to put this ball in suburban Birmingham, as he'll be kicking off from the 30, or rather from the 45-yard line of Iowa State. Question always comes up. If he boots it, across the crossbar, between the uprights. Is it a field goal? Does it count? No, not on a kickoff. It's just a touchback, that's all.
I think this is the time he's going to kick it right-footed. Estimated attendance here tonight in Birmingham, here at Legion Field, is 41,150. Had a threat of rain that probably kept some people home, but a good turnout.
An excellent turnout. It does not match the record-breaking turnout of last year, but comes very, very close to it. The turnout last year was in excess of 44,000. And they have 41,150, a very excellent turnout for the second annual Hall of Fame bowl game here in Birmingham. A tribute to Fred Singleton and his Hall of Fame people who've done such a very excellent job. So they try the onside kick, but Iowa State takes it at the 34-yard line and will start their 1st and 10 at the 34.
Christian receives Iowa State field return.
Saturday night at the Tangerine Bowl will really pay tribute to the folks that keep them playing, the college trainers. Part 3 on the Mizlu Television Network. Tangerine Bowl featuring the Pitt Panthers and the Wolfpack of North Carolina State.
So now it is 1st and 10 for Iowa State. Hardy in motion across. Added to their tailback, Dexter Green, but he was hit immediately at the 32-yard line for a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd down and 12 yards to go, and it was Eddie Heath who made the hit. And there is a delay here now for the training staff to come out, and a little attention to a Texas Aggie. Stunned on the play. That is Floyd Randall.
We've been extolling the virtues and the great job that Curtis Dickey has done tonight. 266 yards unofficially rushing. But Dexter Green has not had a bad night. 130 yards rushing is really nothing to sneeze at.
Well, we've got 2 great running backs in this ball game here tonight. 2 exciting running backs. 2nd down and 12 yards to go. At the 32-yard line, Walter Grant, still the quarterback. Over and back for Jacob Green. He's done that a few times tonight. Grant is rolling. Don't stop. Tries to keep. Hits the deck at the 33-yard line. He picked up 1 every 3rd down and 11 yards to go.
Had to yell, don't stop that time for Walter Grant. I could see him, but he could not see him. Jacob Green, though, was really breathing fire down his neck.
We've been talking about the people who've made this bowl game possible and who organized it. Cecil Stubbs was one of the prime movers, and Cecil Stubbs passed away this year shortly after the bowl teams were announced. He had been instrumental in the selection, one of the prime movers in the beginning of the Hall of Fame Bowl. Tribute was paid to him last night at the VIP dinner by Fred Singleton, who was the president. Now whistle and timeout for Iowa State. So we'll be back with more action after this from your local station. Well, you see the Queen there. And some very pretty people that we've seen up here on Press Row tonight. 3rd down and 11 yards to go at the 33-yard line. Walter Grant throws incomplete. He threw behind his intended receiver, Ray Hardy. Which will make it 4th and 11 at the 33. The Aggies are leading 21-12. Darrell Smith dropping back now as the punting units come on. And that is Smith. He is a senior from Fort Worth, Texas. Wears the towel there, the towel off his hands. And Rich Miller is back in deep punt formation. We have 7 minutes, 52 seconds left to play in this 2nd annual Hall of Fame bowl game. Miller took a lot of time. And it is again taking an Iowa State bounce this time. Down to the 22-yard line. So that is where the Aggies start 1st and 10 at their own 22. And they lead by a score of 21-12. Grant is 8 for 23 in the air tonight for 98 yards passing.
A lot of postseason action for some of the Aggies. Cody Ryson will play in the Senior and Gula Bowl. Tight end Russell McCusker, cornerback Darrell Smith, and Franklin will play in the Japan Bowl. And defensive tackle Eugene Sanders will play in the East-West Shrine game. So they still got some football to go.
David Beal is in there at quarterback now. Mike Mosley is being given a rest, and David Beal hands it off to Curtis Dickey, and Dickey goes to the right side. and gets just across the 25 to the 26-yard line. He picked up 4 on the play to make it second down. And 6 yards to go for the Texas Aggies.
New quarterback in there, David Beal, number 12, directing the attack for Texas A&M. Must make you worry being out there all afternoon, all evening, as Iowa State has been, trying to contain number 22, Curtis Dickey.
Beal is a sophomore from Russellville, Arkansas. And he pitches it to Dickey. Turns the corner, turns on a little speed that he had left and moved it to the 33-yard line. Raymond Belcher was at fullback leading the play. He's a senior from Fort Worth. It is a first down.
Curtis Dickey with 276 yards rushing today unofficially, and he's asking to be taken out now. He's a little short of the all-time Aggie record set by Bob Smith, 1950. 297 yards is the career mark at A&M.
Well,
this is going to be presented. Go ahead. Will be presented to the outstanding offensive and defensive players in the game. You get an offense. Once you get past Dickey, where else do you go?
Edgar Armstrong is the tailback now as Dickey's being rested, and Armstrong gets across the 30 to the 36-yard line. A gain of only 3 will make it second down and 7 yards to go.
Mentioned several times the speed of Texas A&M. Beal, the second-team quarterback that's in there now, is a 9.6 sprinter. Had an 80-yard touchdown run against Kansas this year. Edgar Armstrong, a fine running back, but doesn't get an awful lot of playing time because he's behind the great Curtis Dickey.
Mike Whitwell is in there, a wide receiver now. Edgar Armstrong tries to slide off and gets only to the 37-yard line for 1, which will make it third down and 6 yards to go. Texas A&M is leading 21-12, and we have 6 minutes 5 seconds left to play in this game. Here comes Doug Teague, a junior from Texas, back into the ball game. John Meese is the nose guard in there defensively, number 92. They try the delay to Edgar Armstrong, and he gets up to about the 39-yard line. And about 2. It's going to be fourth down, and it'll bring the punting unit on. David Appleby is coming in to do the punting. Dropping back is Joe Brown, the freshman from Pahokee, Florida. Mike Schwartz is going to be upfield about 10 yards in tandem with him. He is from Des Moines, Iowa. Appleby, hands out stretch, gets the snap. Brown retreats. Well, he dropped it. Can he get it? Scramble is on. No. The 5-yard line. And the Aggies have recovered at the Iowa State 5-yard line. As Joe Brown tried to field the ball over his shoulder, he fumbled it. Did not get to it.
Boy, that ball just carried and carried. Joe Brown there thought he had, tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch there, could not pull it off. You see him scramble for it there, loses the handle on it again. You're going to see number 84, Doug Teague, right there. Doug Teague scooping it up for Texas A&M. Big turnover. They already lead 21-12, and now they have the ball at the 5.
56-yard punt. And we're getting a timeout signal from the field. And we'll return with more action after this timeout.
I've seen.
Edgar Armstrong gets the handoff, and Edgar Armstrong gets right to the goal line. Touchdown!
You know, it looked like for sure he was going to be stopping at least a yard short of it, maybe a yard and a half short of it, but running with a lot of power. Edgar Armstrong, 6 feet, 225 pounds. Going to take a look at it again in slow motion. The handoff. He's getting the lead block there. Watch him. You're going to see him get hit in just a moment. Right there. Right there. He's hit at the 2.5-yard line. Still struggling. Goes in. Good second effort.
So now Tony Franklin will attempt another conversion. Franklin barefoots it up there, and it's good. So the score now is the Texas Aggies 28 and the Cyclones of Iowa State 12. We have 5 minutes 3 seconds remaining to be played in this game. I'm going to take this opportunity to pass along our thanks for the work tonight. Working statistics from Ms. Lou, Tim Stanfield of Huntsville, Texas, And doing the identifications for us here in the booth, Mark Womack from Birmingham, Alabama, who is in the Southeastern Conference office. 5 minutes, 3 seconds left to play in this game.
And Iowa State's got to come out now trailing 28-12 with all of their big plays. Turnovers, Iowa State's had 3, Texas A&M 1.
The deep men are Ray Hardy and Dexter Green to receive this kickoff. Tony Franklin will do the booting.
Franklin will kick off for Texas A&M.
So the Cyclones want to get a hold of that football and see if they can do something with it right now. High kickoff. Hardy brings it out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and skips his feet. And Hardy now is at the 40 and the 45, and an exciting kickoff return to the 49-yard line. Ray Hardy, you took it fairly deep in the end zone as it was.
I was all ready to question his judgment on taking it 5 yards deep in the end zone. Look at there, 5 yards deep, a real high kick coming from Tony Franklin. Presumably the coverage would be great. It was pretty good, but watch Hardy running with he's hit right there. He's running through arm tackles. There, keeps his balance, gets hit again right there, still going. He's going to take another shot right there, but not a very good shot. That's the kicker Franklin hit him. You could always get by those guys. And Hardy is still going. A fine kick return that time by Ray Hardy.
Jimmy Hamilton finally made the tackle. Here is Grant gutting it, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Greg Smith.
This weekend, an exciting weekend of football on Mizzlou Television Network. Friday night, the Holiday Bowl, Navy Brigham Young. Lindsey Nelson, Paul Dietzel, and Mike Smith will be there to bring you all the play-by-play. Saturday night, I'll be there along with Don Perkins and Dwayne Dow to bring you the Tangerine Bowl, Pitt and North Carolina State.
Right here, it is 28-12. The Texas Aggies are leading Iowa State. Give it off to the tailback, Victor Mack. And Victor Mack burst through to the 45-yard line of the Texas Aggies, gained 6 yards on the play, which will make it 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Tom Roach coming back into the ball game, and Jack Seabrook is coming out at fullback for Iowa State.
A lot of the fans starting to make their way toward the exit here with 4:19 left in the game. Texas A&M leading 28-12. Iowa State has to strike aloft and in a hurry.
And again, it's Victor Mack, the sophomore from Mansfield, Ohio. Got to the 42-yard line. Looks a little short. 4th down coming up. And, of course, at this point, they have to go for it because we have 3 minutes, 54 seconds left. Texas Aggies are leading by a score of 28-12.
Victor Mack there coming out of the lineup, and for Iowa State, there is no tomorrow as far as the 1978 year is concerned.
So they have Dexter Green back in there now. A great running back from Woodbridge, Virginia. Well, they try the quarterback, and he may have picked it up. Walter Grant just trying to wedge him out up there, and they'll spot it now and look. And he may have picked up the 1st down. He did. It's 1st and 10. At the 41-yard line of the Texas Aggies, and the clock is running with 3:20. Wide receiver right. Grant is rolling, but he sheds a tackler and throws, and it is complete. And now the ball is away, and it's going to be called incomplete. It was Guy Preston trying to control it, but the incompletion makes it 2nd and 10.
Darrell Smith on the defense that time for Texas A&M, done a good job. Preston, a big rangy target there, and Darrell Smith just really teed off on him.
You see Dexter Green there. I arrived in town yesterday, and I got in the elevator at the hotel, and this is a fairly large city full of football people. There's one fellow in there, very nice young man. He stuck out his hand. He said, "I'm Dexter Green." How's that for luck of the draw? First man I met in town was Dexter Green.
Hey, that's super.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Grant. Well, he was hit just as he started to throw. In my opinion, maybe they're going to call it a fumble. Who knows? It's all in play, and he's going to spot it back there at the 49-yard line. It was a fumble, and it's back at the 49-yard line.
Let's take a look at it again. Quarterback Walter Grant there dropping back. Let's see if his arm is going forward at the time he is hit. Well, I think he was just drawing back. I think he was just drawing back to fire. It was a fumble.
Luckily recovered by Iowa State back at the 49-yard line. You're exactly right. It's a judgment call on the part of the official as to whether his arm had started forward or not. 3rd down and 20 yards to go. Grant again. Scrambles out now. Gonna keep it. Gets only to the 41-yard line, where it's going to be 4th down and 10 yards to go. We have exactly 2 minutes remaining to be played in this Hall of Fame Bowl game in Birmingham. The Aggies are leading by a score of 28-12. So this could very well be a last gasp play for Iowa State in this particular bowl game.
It's half the banner they've got back there, Don Perkins.
I think I saw that. It looked like a cowboy. Yeah, sure. Right. Man, those guys are doing well.
And it's Dexter Green, and Dexter Green got the 1st down to keep the drive alive. A slick handoff from Walter Grant to Dexter Green.
Ken Taylor, number 16, making the stop that time for Texas A&M. Dexter Green, though, making a nice gain on it. Texas A&M's probably playing it a little loose right now. Present anything big. Dexter Green's got very quick feet. He doesn't have the wide open speed that Curtis Dickey has, but he's got excellent quick footwork. Doing a good job there working it downfield before Ken Taylor brought him down. Green's carried 21 times for 148 yards.
On the 28-yard line, there's a pass play to Greg Smith, and he is at the 12-yard line. That'll be another 1st down, a 1st and 10 for Iowa State at the 12-yard line of the Texas Aggies. 57 seconds left to play.
There's no doubt about the most valuable player, both offensive player of the game, the MVP of the game. Obviously, Curtis Dickey, 270 yards unofficially rushing. Best defensive player, Rick White of Iowa State, the senior from Peoria, Illinois.
And from the 12-yard line now, here's a pass play that is incomplete. Trying to gun it to Tom Roach, his fullback. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line.
I think I better make a correction. Rick White is from Burlington, Iowa. I don't want to, offend the folks in Burlington, Iowa. Folks in Iowa, by the way, are really very nice.
They'll get mad at you.
No, they stayed in the hotel where we were staying, and they're very, very nice folks. All of them, both sides. Good, clean football game.
See, my home's in Waterloo, Iowa, and I have to go back there sometime.
So we'll be back with more action after this timeout. As we resume play now, it is 2nd down and 10 yards to go for Iowa State. They have the ball inside the 12-yard line of the Texas Aggies, who lead in the game by a score of 28-12. We have 37 seconds remaining to be played. Here come the Cyclones. Dexter Green is the tailback. Roach is the fullback. Grant is the quarterback. Motion across by Ray Hardy. Grant. And it is incomplete. Batted down into the corner to Greg Smith. 3rd and 10 outside the 11-yard line. Rushing yardage, A&M is at 318. Iowa State 217. Passing yardage, A&M is at 43 yards. Iowa State 114. Total yardage 361 for A&M, 331 for Iowa State. Turnovers, A&M 1, Iowa State 3. 3rd down play coming now for the Cyclones. They send Stan Hickson out into a wide left. Dexter Green is the tailback. Grant rolls into the end zone, and it is tipped up and incomplete. An attempt made at a one-hand stab by Stan Hickson. Had a second shot at it coming down.
I tell you what, that was great effort, not only by Walter Grant, the quarterback, that was really under pressure here. Let's look at it again. You're going to see him right there. He's being dragged to the ground by his shirt by number 48, James Zachary. He gets the ball off anyway, and Stan Hickson almost makes a miraculous catch back there. A little bit short. Good effort, though.
It'll be 4th down and 10 yards to go outside the 11-yard line.
Defense, Rick White of Iowa State, number 92.
And it is taken into the end zone for the touchdown by Greg Smith. But it is incomplete. It is incomplete.
I think they're going to rule that Smith was probably juggling as he fell to the ground there.
That's what they did, and he is being consoled for not having control of the ball, so it is an incompletion. And the ball goes over on downs to Texas A&M. 21 seconds on the clock. The score there, Texas A&M 28, Iowa State 12. This has been the second annual Hall of Fame bowl game in Birmingham, Alabama. Lindsey Nelson with Don Perkins and Howard David here in the booth tonight for Ms. Lou. Now the Aggies with a safe lead. Beal has the ball, giving it off, and it's advanced out to the 20-yard line. Clock is running.
Ball carrier on that one, Lindsey, was Temple A-Day, number 26. Doesn't play much, primarily on kickoff returns.
And now time has run out in the ball game. And the Texas Aggies have won it by a score of 28-12. That's the end of the Hall of Fame Bowl. The score, Texas A&M 28, Iowa State 12. We'll be back with a recap after. Final score of the second annual Hall of Fame Bowl game in Birmingham is Texas A&M 28, Iowa State 12. Speaking for Don Perkins and Howard David, this is Lindsey Nelson for Ms. Lou Television, hoping you'll tune us in on Friday night from San Diego, the Holiday Bowl game, and we'll be there with Paul Dietzel. So once again, good night.